Today, we're diving into a really critical change happening in military tech. And no, it's not about a bigger missile or a faster jet. It's about making intelligence gathering way smarter and a whole lot safer. And it all comes down to a tiny computer that can literally fit in the palm of your hand.
So, to really get why this is such a big deal, let me ask you a question. On a modern battlefield, one that's just packed with drones, advanced weapons, and artillery, what could possibly be more dangerous than a bullet? The answer isn't something you can see. It's not what you'd expect.
That's right, an invisible signal. In the world of electronic warfare, just sending out a simple radio transmission, doesn't matter if it's from a drone, a radar, or a command post, it's like lighting a giant flare in the middle of the night. It screams, "Here I am." And in that kind of environment, if you're seen, you're targeted. It's that simple.
And that brings us to what you could call the invisible front line. It's this constant, super high-stakes game of digital hide-and-seek, a silent, deadly hunt for those signals. This is the world of electronic intelligence.
Electronic intelligence, or ELINT for short, is basically the art of becoming the battlefield's digital ears. You have these specialized teams using really powerful gear to listen for everything: enemy drones, communication hubs, jammers, you name it. And by analyzing those signals, they can build this incredibly detailed map of the enemy without ever actually seeing them. Now, to do this kind of hunting, you need some seriously sophisticated tools. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. The very power that makes these systems so amazing also creates a huge and often fatal problem for the people who have to operate them.
I mean, just take a look at a system like the KVERTUS MS AZIMUth. The numbers are just staggering. It can spot radio sources up to 30 kilometers away. It can track 100 different targets at the same time, and it scans the radio spectrum at a mind-boggling 540 gigahertz per second. It's an incredible hunter. But notice that last bullet point. It comes standard with a laptop. That little detail, that's where this all goes wrong.
And this is what's known as the hunter's dilemma. The system can see for miles and miles, but to get that clean signal, the antenna and its human operator, they have to be right there on the front line. So while this operator is tracking all these threats, they themselves are a sitting duck, completely exposed. The very act of gathering intelligence turns them into a top priority target.
So let's zero in on the system's true Achilles heel, that laptop. It's the one piece of equipment that physically tethers a person to the antenna, forcing them to sit in the line of fire just to crunch all that data. This was the single point of failure that engineers just had to solve.
And what's really powerful here is just how clear the motivation was. The whole mission was crystal clear: get the people out of danger. The entire goal was to figure out a way to break that deadly link between the powerful tech and the vulnerable human operator.
Okay, let's just walk through this chain of vulnerability. Step 1, the antenna grabs signals out of the air. Step 2, all that raw data has to be processed, so it's piped to a laptop nearby. Step 3, a human has to sit at that laptop right there on the front line to make sense of it all. And Step 4, in doing so, both the operator and all their gear basically have a giant bullseye painted on them.
So how do you fix a problem like that? You might think, okay, maybe a bigger, tougher, more armored computer. Nope, the solution was something completely different, and honestly, pretty ingenious. It's a pocket-sized microcomputer.
And the difference is just night and day. On one side, you have this bulky, heavy, power-hungry field laptop. On the other, you have the Orange Pi 5. I mean, it's smaller than a credit card. It weighs just 60 grams. That's nothing. And it runs on simple USB-C power. But the real secret sauce is that NPU, the Neural Processing Unit. It's a special little chip, like a mini brain, that's built specifically to handle AI tasks super efficiently. And yeah, don't let its size fool you for a second. This little thing is an absolute beast. It's packing an 8-core CPU, 16 gigs of really fast RAM, and that NPU can perform 6 times trillion operations per second. That's more than enough power to do all the heavy lifting that old laptop used to do right there at the antenna.
So, and this is the really important part, this isn't just about swapping one piece of hardware for another. This enables a completely new way of thinking, a safer, more effective vision for what electronic intelligence can be. It's about creating a truly networked battlefield.
So check out the new workflow. It's so much smarter. The antenna still grabs the signal, but now the Orange Pi sitting right next to it does all the hard work on the spot. It processes the raw data, it filters out all the noise, and it just compresses the important stuff. Only that final clean piece of intelligence gets sent over a secure network to an operator who is now sitting safely miles away from the fight. And just like that, the chain of vulnerability is broken. And the vision gets even bigger from there. The ultimate goal isn't just to have one smart sensor. It's about networking all of them together. When you combine the data from dozens of these little smart units, you can create a single, unified synthetic picture of the whole battlefield, and you can triangulate where signals are coming from with incredible accuracy.
So if you remember one thing, it's this. This is a fundamental shift. We're moving the brains of the operation from a centralized command post out to the edge, right to the sensor itself. And what does that get you? The whole system becomes safer for people, faster at delivering intel, and a whole lot harder for an enemy to take down.
Which, leaves us with a pretty fascinating and kind of mind-bending question to think about. This whole shift, this move from having a human in the loop to a human on the loop, all thanks to these tiny, powerful computers, it's a revolution. And it forces us to ask, what does the future of conflict even look like when the most critical parts of the front line aren't run by soldiers but by a smart network of pocket-sized computers?